Alright, let's bring that beat back.
Good morning. We're streaming. We're up and live. This is good. This is good. I missed yesterday, but that's all right. Sometimes life happens. You just you roll with it. So let's see if we can figure out how to switch my screen over here. Like that. There we go. Okay, so yesterday we had just finished up the previous chapter. Let me go back to the previous chapter. What was it called again? Deeper Caverns. That's right. So we added a did we do vendor stuff too? Because I see vendor stuff on the screen here. If I go to this level, right? This was the limestone caverns, and then we go back to this and we get the deeper limestone caverns. I wish one of the cheat menus thing would allow me to scroll around the map without having to walk, but I can turn on God mode and just walk around this way, I guess. And we had created a level such that you could put a orc encampment in the middle, and then goblins and orcs would be there, and then there was this orc leader who's a level 2 orc, I guess, because he's got a capital O. So I don't know what you would do with level 3. You can't make a double capital, but I'm not going to worry about that. So that's what we got done. So today, let's see, let's go back to the transition level here. Looks like we're going to go from the caverns to a dwarf fortress-ish kind of a thing, which should be fun. I'm looking forward to it anyway. So let's see, make sure I got my chat popped up, and then I go over here. Perfect. So let's take a look at this. The design document talks about the caverns giving way to a carefully hewn dwarven fortress, now occupied by vile beasts and a dragon. It would be very jarring to go down a level and suddenly be inside a boxy dwarven fort. So this level will be all about the transition. PM user, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. Let's start with the theme. We want to split up the map between the limestone cavern look and the dungeon look, so we'll add a new entry to themes tile glyph function that does just that. What in the world is this doing? There's no explanation here. Okay. This is saying if it's level 5. So this is level 4, right? Where's the, oh, I can't see my game log. But if I restart, right, we're on level 1. I go here, this is level 2. Oh, I thought I took out that depth thing. And then here is level 3. And then this is level 4. So level 5 is going to be the new level that we're making. Nubez says, done with Cinecore? Yes, I finished that. When did I finish that? Last week? 2 weeks ago? Last week. It must have been last week. Yeah, it took 4 days to get through. It took me 3 tries to get the algorithm figured out, and then there was this orb thing that you had to solve a puzzle for that was pretty straightforward. I have it all up on my YouTube. I archive all of my VODs on YouTube, so if you're interested in seeing how I solved it, take a look and give it a like. Like and subscribe, as they say. Yeah, so we have, looks like, so we're going to go with level 5 here. Okay. And it's in themes. Did I push this all up? I did. Okay, just making sure. So this must be here in tile glyph. We have level 5. I don't know why I'm doing it in reverse order, but that's the way it's going. Let X. Nubez, did you do all of Cinecore? If so, what language did you choose? Or languages? I guess you could do each one in a different language, right? There's no reason to stick with the single language to solve the other parts of the puzzle. If X is less than map width over 2. So what is this doing? So this is saying if we're on the left half of the map, that's what this is saying. If we're on the left half of the map, then we're going to get limestone cavern glyph. Otherwise, we're going to get a tile glyph default. Right? That's the way I'm reading this. Oops. So we can just do an else here. And close that, right? Oh, we don't need the commas at the end of these guys. Okay. That's the only difference there. Let X equals, yeah. So it's saying it's getting the X coordinate, which it's unfortunate that we're doing it this way. We do have a map XY. We should have a map to index or something. Oh well. Okay, so maybe we'll get this explained later. Now we'll open map builders and call the new build function. So we have limestone transition builder. Where's map builders mod? There we go, level builder. So we'll just copy paste this and we'll call this a transition builder. And then we're going to open up limestone cavern. And so this is limestone. I guess we're doing limestone transition builder. We just put it up here. And then we're going to have the same signature. So we can just grab these lines, right? And we're done. Okay. So chain is builder chain new depth, width, height. Dwarf fort upper reaches. Yep, upper reaches. Okay. And then we're going to do a start with the cellular automata, which I think is here. Oh, it's cull. Nope, there is no cellular automata. Okay, we'll have to add that guy. Okay, so we're going to say Jane start with and new, just like that. And then we're going to do waveform collapse. Do we have a waveform? We do not. That's another new one. Okay, waveform collapse. If I just do that, yeah, I can do this. And then chain with new. And then we have area starting position, which is definitely here. Then we have cull unreachable. And a second area starting position. Voronoi spawning. And then the cave decorator, right? And I grab distant exit, but we can delete that. So this should be pretty much what they have here, right? It's pretty simple. It makes a cellular automata map and then convolutes it with a waveform collapse. We've covered these in previous chapters, so they should be familiar. It achieves half of what we want, an open, natural-looking dungeon, but we'll need more work to generate the dwarven half. I haven't really explained what we're going for here, right? VM user says create the next game, next level. Yep. Well, I mean, it's the way game development works, I guess, is you work your way from top down. I don't know. This is the first time I'm developing a full-blown game, so, and eventually I'll make my own once this tutorial's done. And we're pretty close to the end of the tutorial, right? Well, we're about halfway through the making a game section of it, but by the time we got to the design document, we had 80% of the work done for us already. VM user says you have experience. Yeah, I'm slowly gaining experience. That's why I'm doing this. So, oh, cave transition. What's this? It makes a cellular automata map, then convolutes it with waveform collapse. Achieves half of what we want, right? An open, natural-looking dungeon, but we'll need more work to generate the dwarven half. Okay, so this must be splitting. Yeah, this should have had a little more explanation up top, what's going on. But it looks like, based on the tile glyph thing we did, we're going to split into a left half of the limestone caverns and the right half of a fortress. So we have this cave decorator. We're going to make a cave transition. And then we're going to do another area starting position with left and center. And then we'll do distant exit. So we did need that after all. Oops, too far. There we go. So now we go through the same map generation, calling an as yet unwritten cave transition builder and reset start and end points. So what goes into the cave transition? Well, I guess we're just... I don't know if we should put it in the same thing as the cave decorator. Right, because the cave decorator's here. Should we just put the cave transition in the same file? I guess why not? I guess why not? Let's just put a little comment here. Just to separate things out, and then I can put that here. I guess it could go in a separate file, but I'll put it here. And then if we end up needing it, oh, it doesn't have to be pub. So maybe that's one reason it should be in its own file, because it's already saying pub. Yeah, that's right. Cave transition. And then we have metamap builder, which I can just grab this guy, because it's identical. Based on all the other metamap builders we did, it should be identical. The only difference is it should be cave transition. And therefore there should be a derive function for it, right? We should be able to say derive metamap builder. And that would have been a neat thing for them to teach us how to do in this tutorial, right? Because I don't know how to do that. Maybe I'll look that up offline. Oh, why not online, right? Cave transition. I'm not going to do the allow dead code because we don't allow dead code in my code. Box. Cave transition. Box new. Cave transition. Nope, no semicolon. Thank you. And then the build function, which is just this, except without the map. And it returns, yeah, it returns nothing. Okay, so we have build data, map depth is 5. So it's hard coding the map depth to 5. Yeah, I guess we don't pass the map depth in here, right? We should be able to get it from the build data, though. I mean, it should already be a part of the build data. And then we take a snapshot right away? Okay. Snapshot, thank you. And then build a BSP-based dungeon. Mod builder is builder chain, new. See, now we're passing, again, hard coding in the 5. Build data width, build data height, new map. I guess the name doesn't matter here. Builder start with BSP dungeon builder. And we're going to have to pull that in. Right? And then we're going to need builder with room drawer. Is that something we already have? I don't see it. And a room sorter. Oops. New rooms. This is all new. Sort. Right, most? Right? Yeah, there's no... Okay. And then nearest corridors. I should copy this line. And then a room exploder. And then a room base. I thought we had like room based spawners. Didn't we? But I'm trying to jump to the definition. It's not jumping to it. Let me go to the maps, the mod for the maps. Oops, mod dot for the map builders and see. I thought room. Yeah, room-based spawner, room-based stairs, and room-based starting position. So we definitely have a room-based spawner, or we had, until this got commented out. And this room sorter, yeah, so we already have this. There it is. So it's in the room sorter. Okay, so we'll need to pull all these in. So room drawer. Room sorter. I should just put a star. I don't know why they the jump to definition thing wasn't going. And then yeah, we have nearest corridors right here. Right there. And then room-based spawner. Okay. So that's that, and then we just say builder, build map, and pass in a random number generator. Add the history to our history. And build data, take snapshot. So it looks like we're pushing all the history and then we're pushing the snapshot of the last thing that was pushed there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Copy the right half of the map into our map. 4x in build data, map width over 2. To build data map width. Map height. Dot height. Right? And then let IDX is build data map XY. Build data map tiles IDX is equal to builder. And then build data, take snapshot. We'll just copy this, and that's that. So what this is doing is going from width over 2, which is halfway through the map, and then all the way to the end. And then it's going from the top to the bottom in this loop, and then just copying one thing at a time over. Keep Voronoi spawn data for the left half of the map. The left half of the map is the part we didn't copy over. Let W equals build data map width. Build data spawn list retain. For each S, let S x equal s dot 0 as I32 divided by the width. X is less than the width over 2. And that's that. So it's going to go through the spawn list, and any X value that's less than halfway through the map gets retained. And then we're going to keep room spawn data from the right half of the map. Okay. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. So we just retained everything on the left side. And now we're going to go through the left side. So isn't there going to be nothing on the left side? I mean, nothing on the right side anymore? Once we did this? Right? This should always be false at that point. What am I missing? All right, see you, VM user. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Let x equals s dot 0 as I32 divided by w. If x greater than w dot over 2, build data spawn list push s clone. Oh, this is from builder. I see. This is your build data and this is builder. I missed that. Okay. So that makes sense. So there's all the usual boilerplate to make a builder. Then we get to build the build function. Let's walk through it. We start by resetting the level's depth. There's a bug in the wave function collapse that made that necessary. It'll be fixed in a revision to this chapter. Oh, okay. Then we'll make a new builder. It's set to generate a pretty normal BSP-based dungeon with short direct corridors and then erode the rooms. We'll run the builder and copy its history onto the end of our history so we can see the steps it took as well. We copy the entire right half of the BSP map onto the map we're actually building. We remove all spawns from the current map that are in the right half of the map. We copy all spawns from the BSP map to our current map if they are in the right half of the map. Result of all this, a split dungeon. We're relying on the odds of there not being anything connecting the two halves being very low. What? Relying on the odds of there not being anything connecting the two halves being very low. Okay. I think I understand that sentence now. It took 2 tries. Just to be sure, let's also add an unreachable culling cycle and remove the waveform collapse. It makes the map too likely to not have an exit. All right, so we're going to go back to the top. So he must have play tested this and then updated it here. So we have the builder chain, cellular automata. We get rid of the waveform collapse. We have area starting position. I guess what we can do is just try this out and then first. Oh no, it's in source lib, right? Yeah, so let's change this to true. And then we can see the map gen. Well, first we have to make sure this all compiles. Let's see what typos we have here. Room sort. Oh. Yeah, that's come from here. All right, what else? Room exploder. Limestone transition builder. Function with a similar name exists. Limestone cavern builder. Oh, did I not? What? All right. Oh yeah, I spelled it wrong. This name is more similar than limestone cavern builder. Why are you telling me that one? Oh, I forgot to check the last one. Limestone cavern. Oh, did I forget to make it pub? No, it's right there. Yeah, it still wants to do limestone cavern here. What do I do? I've got a typo somewhere. Limestone transition builder, and the other one is limestone transition builder. What am I missing? I'm missing something here. Let me copy this line and paste it here. All right, so now I know it's copied and pasted in. Oh, I gotta add it here. All right, it's time to put the star here now. Okay, there we go. We still have 2 warnings though. Cargo, oh no, we can just build it and we can see what the warnings are. And then we can try this out. Oh, unreachable. Oh, I probably need to update the, no? Okay. If it's unreachable, we gotta fix it before we try it out. 217. Oh, that's why. Okay. Thank you, Rust, for catching that. Internet Bird, hi. How are you? This is a roguelike. I'm attempting to follow the Rust roguelike tutorial. Let me put a link to the current chapter in chat. You can check it out. It's been a lot of fun so far. We're 60 chapters into it. If we take a look at the chapter guide, you can see here we're on this 5.18 chapter. But we've gone through all of these things here over the last many streams that I've been doing this. So, and currently we're trying to debug our new, yeah, so this is a town builder. Oh, that's right. I turned this off because it's very slow. And now that's turned back on again. Okay, so we'll just jump really quickly to the next level. This is the forest. Then we go to the caverns. I should have it just so it only checks for level 5. This is going to take forever, isn't it? Yeah, source lib. Let's see where do we check this flag? It's here. Oh, in game state. Tutorial game state. And we can just look for it. Else if, oh, how do we check the depth here? What's the current depth? Mapgen next state. We're gonna have to see what our mapgen data looks like, because this is just far too long to sit through. So I need to do it. Yeah. So now there's limestone caverns. Now we have to go to the deep limestone caverns, which is going to be the same exact. Oh, it's a little faster. And then we can jump to the new one. So here's our new one finally. That's interesting. Huh. So it's doing this waveform collapse thing. And then it's redoing everything. With rooms. Oh, I see. And the way it's drawing it is the different tile glyph sizes. and then we have our room digger. I see how it's going. So then it's going to use the other map for one half and this map for the other half, for the second half. And we start over here and we work our way over to the dwarf fortress. All right, but I do want to change this so we don't have to go through this painfully slow system. Okay, I guess we can just turn it off for now. False. And now if I do the reveal map and turn on God mode, then we can wend our way. Oh, come on. My fingers are not hitting the right keys here. We can walk our way through here. And then we get to a more built up area. Oh, can't go that way. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Stuck. Stuck. There's no way in. That's a problem. Can I go in this way? I can get to here, but I can't get into the regular part. What about down here? Nope. It's all stuck. Can't go through there. Yeah, it said, oh, it's going to be low, but it's not low because look at that. We're unable to get into it. And if you see, the downstairs is right here, which means it couldn't find a downstairs that was reachable from here. Well, that's a shame. And it's called waveform collapse instead of the new dungeon level. So that's probably why they did remove this thing here. All right, so let's go back to that builders and limestone cavern down here. Oh no, right at the top. We get rid of the waveform collapse. Right. Let's also add an unreachable culling cycle and remove the waveform collapse. It makes the map too likely to not have an exit. Right. Okay. So down here we'll just put a cull unreachable. So we have one up here and then we have one down here. That's fine. Wait, area's ending position is new. Oh, where's area ending position? Oh, instead of distant exit. Okay. So we can say area ending position. And then an X end. And Y end. I wonder why we're having those. It's just like area starting position, but it sets a staircase instead of a starting point. It's in the file area ending point. Okay. So let's create that. Map builders. Area ending point. It's probably very similar to area starting point, right? Builder map. Tile type. Use crate map. Oops. Crate map. Really? Just like that? It doesn't make sense to me. RLTK random number generator. Pub enum. X end. Now which ones did we actually use? Because that's what I'll put in. Left and center. Left. And we can always add center. Right. Later. And then oh, that doesn't work like that. That's how it works. Oh, right. Before I do that, before I try to save, I didn't. Okay, put it like that, and then pub enum y end. And we're gonna say top, center, right, like that, and then pub struct area ending position, x end, and y is a y end. Okay, and this is the meta map builder. Which we can just grab from here. Like that, and it's going to be for area ending position. Dayloop, hi, how are you? All right, so pub new. I forget why we have to box these up. Oh, maybe it's just to make it a general or generic return, so it's all boxed. Excuse me. Dayloop says, how do you scroll without moving the cursor? I'm using a trackpad, so if I point here and then I can just use 2 fingers on the trackpad to scroll up and down. It simulates a scroll wheel. It doesn't. It works here, but the Neo Vim window doesn't understand. Or I've disabled mouse input for my Neo Vim. So what are we doing? Build, right? So we just need this line here without the map part, and then let seed x. And let seed y. Okay, match self x. Oh, in Vim. In Vim, I'm using Control E to go up and Control Y to go down, or Control F goes down a full page and Control B goes up a full page. Yeah, and this, when I do that, it's just Control E. I'm going to change this a little bit, so we just set it directly here. Let seed x equal this. X end left. Oh, which doesn't exist, right? Seed x equals 1. So we'll just comment that out. X end. Oh, left does exist, right? Yeah, left exists, but right and center don't. So let's do that. Center is, oh, it's just number 1. There we go. Build data map width over 2. And then right is going to be -2. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing for y. Let seed y, self y, y end top is 1, y end center. Which one do we have? We have center. Center is the real one. Build data map height over 2, and then this is going to be bottom, and it's going to be -2. And we comment that out, and we comment that out, and we're done. Oops, we're done for real. There we go. Are you an actual scientist by profession? Dayloop asks. I am a computer scientist. Does that count? It's got scientist right in the name. Let available floors. I'm actually a file system performance engineer. So I science on file systems all day. Oh, that's right. I prefer to have Rust infer the type if possible. So let's do that. For IDX tile type in build data map tiles iter enumerate, and then if map tile walkable tile type. Deloop says, yep, that's science to me. Thank you. So I am definitely a scientist, and I am an uncle through no fault of my own. Available floors. Push. What are we pushing? We're pushing a tuple. We're pushing a tuple of IDX and this distance algorithm again. Pythagoras squared, distance 2D, and this is going to be point. Let's pull that in. Oops. There we go. Point, new IDX as I32, build data, map width, and then IDX as I32 divided by build data map width. And then point, that's the end of that point, right? And so then here, point new seed X seed Y. And that's Pythagoras squared. And then there's the tuple, and then there's the push, and then there's a semicolon. And then we close the if, we close the for. Okay, if available floors is empty, no valid floors to start on. All right, and then available floors, sort by AB. Partial compare to B.1 unwrap. And then build data, map tiles. Use tile type downstairs. So that's the one that's furthest away. Oops, I misspelled distance algorithm. Okay, so this is going through all of the tiles and finding the one that's furthest away. It has to be at least one available floor, and it's going to sort it such that the one that's furthest away gets to downstairs. So putting this all together and running it, you have a dungeon pretty much in line with what we were aiming for. Okay. Let's see if this checks. Oh, right, we have to pull area ending position in. And it also means we have to add it to the mod for the map builders. Area starting position, I'll just put it right with this one. And just change starting to ending. And that should fix those. And no, it did not. Oh, it's not called that, right? It's called area end point or something. Area ending point. Not sure why it's called area ending point, but there you go. Oh, and then X end and Y end are not being pulled in. Tile type, misspelled. That's the last error. And 3 warnings. Waveform collapse builder is no longer used. Okay, that's in which file? Limestone cavern. So don't need that anymore. RNG should have an underscore. Oh, an area ending point. Like that. And that should fix those issues. Yep, okay. So now if we generate the WASM, we should be able to go to that level. And it shouldn't say waveform collapse up here. It should say the transition thing. Whatever the transition thing was. So refresh, begin new game. First thing to do, God mode. Then we jump, 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 and finally jump. Yeah, dwarf fort upper reaches. Got to fix this little extra blank space here. Reveal the map. Okay, so now can we get over to the... Yeah, so there's a little opening here. Although it seems a little iffy just to have this one little opening. If I regenerate the map again... Come on, can you get there? Yes, you can. Okay. This is amusing. The map's revealed, and so the darkness kind of... The way the light works is it fades away, and then we get to the gray. But now we should be able to find a downstairs somewhere over here, right? Somewhere? Where's the downstairs? Uh-oh, do we have a bug? I can't get onto this one spot. I think there's an issue with the way things are spawning. Is there something here? It's a magic missile scroll, but I think it's on top of the wall. So I can't reach it. There's a confusion scroll. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely something missing here. Oh, there's another entrance up here. But there should be a downstairs. And it should be part of the map. Oh, I'm now hungry. Oh, yeah. It's even in God mode you can die from hunger. Better eat some rations. I can eat a dried sausage. There we go. Actually, I don't know. I mean, the hunger is supposed to hit your HP. And maybe the God mode will prevent the HP from going down. I should have tested that. Yeah, I'm not seeing a downstairs case anywhere. So we need to figure out where the downstairs is showing up and then see if we can head over there and look at it. So let's take a look again at the limestone cavern. Oh no, it wasn't in here. It was in the area ending position, right? Source, map builders, area. Oops, I forgot to plug my laptop in and it's giving me a low battery warning. Okay, area ending point. We need to see this. This should generate a location to put the downstairs, and we're not panicking. And I'm pretty sure we're calling it, right? Because it wasn't compiling before. Yeah, it's right here. So it should be left and... Oh, left and center. It should be right and center. Yeah, right and center. Okay. That's why. It's probably then over on the left, right? Left, right? Okay, so let's go back to the left and see if it's there. It should be over there somewhere. It's going to be a pain to get over there. Navigating these caverns is... There it is. Okay. The downstairs is right there, and it shouldn't be there. It should be on the other side. Alright, so that's an easy bug to fix, right? We need to just change this. Oops. Like that, and this gets... Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. This gets deleted here. And now... Oh, we have an error. Oh, because this. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's regenerate the WASM file. And... refresh. And refresh. Come on, there we go. Okay, refresh. So teleport, 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 teleport. And now reveal, and we should be able to go over here and see where the downstairs is. Oops. And we do have entrances. Oh, there's a trap to avoid. And somewhere over here, yep, there's the downstairs case right there. Oh, and we went there. And now we're in the waveform collapse land. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. I went up and now we're in the wrong map. Something's wrong. Because now we should have remembered the previous... Uh-oh. We have bug. Let's refresh. Begin new game. So I should be able to go back now to town. This is town. If I go down another level and then go back into the woods, actually have no idea if this is where we came from or if this is a brand new generated level. It does say, oh, maybe that's that level 5 thing. Let me drop, if I drop a beer, B, right, there's the beer. And if I point at it, it says beer. So now I can go to the limestone caverns and then come back. Yeah, the beer is still there, so that works. If I go to the deep limestone caverns, I should be able to go back to the limestone caverns. Right? And if I go down to our dwarf fortress, I should be able to go back to the deep limestone caverns. Oh, I forgot to turn on God mode. And now if I go to the next level, it says new map. And if I go up, that worked. Huh. That's weird. I wonder what my... Oh, it's going to a new map whenever I go down a level. But this should be the same map as before, right? If I drop a dried sausage, it's generating a new map. And if I come back here, there's the new sausage, right? Or the dried sausage. Heal all ones. Okay. Maybe I was just... Yeah, maybe I was just messing up. Seems to be working now. Okay. So we did all this. Putting this together and running it, you have a dungeon pretty much in line with what we were aiming for. Populating our new level. The level is basically empty other than various drops such as rations. We limited the drops on the previous level, which is good. We want to start transitioning towards a more monster-based level here. The fort apparently fell because of a nasty dragon as opposed to the friendly type, so more draconic minions make sense. Hopefully the player will be approaching level 3 or 4 by now, so we can throw some harder mobs at them without making the game impossible. Alright, so in spawns.json, we're going to update the spawn table to add these guys in the spawn table. So I'm just copying and pasting this because this is not Rust code. Gotta add a comma there. Clean that up. And then remembering that this used to be a dwarven region, let's also add some things a dwarf might leave behind. Okay. So we can paste these guys. And we need a comma there. And dwarves are also known for their armor and weaponry, so a few placeholders for their gear sounds good. Okay, I don't know why we have it in 3 separate pastes, but we do have it in 3 separate pastes. Comma. There we go. That's good. 9 new entities to create. We'll start by building them using the systems we already have, And in a future chapter, we'll add some special effects to them. The dwarf steel used to be mithril, but Token Foundation used to be known for being a little lawyer happy over that word. So dwarf steel it is. We'll start by giving them a new faction in spawns. So name is Worm. Oh, them, referring to dragon. Whoops, didn't mean to click there. So we're going to add into the faction table, we're going to add a worm. Like that. Add a comment to that guy. We'll also extrapolate a little and come up with a few things they may drop as loot for loot tables. So we just added a bunch of, let's go back up here. We added a bunch of these things, but we need to actually add them to the mobs. So I guess we're going to be doing that soon. Oh yeah, here's Dragon Wormling, Lizard Man. Dragon Wormling, Lizard Man. Okay. So we copy this guy. That's interesting. We're using the same letter for the dragon as we were using for deer. Mobs. There we go. So we just put the dragon wormling in, the comma. Even without special abilities, that's a mighty foe. To do. Okay, to do. Maybe explaining what's going on here. Melee and defense are higher. Might and fitness are higher. Oh, I don't see too much here. I guess it's, it's more than the default. So here's melee 2. This is melee 15. So it's going to be tough. Armor class 15. Okay. We should definitely counteract the awesome nature of the young dragons by making the lizardmen and giant lizards rather weak in comparison, since there are likely to be many more of them. Alright, so let's copy this guy. And we'll put this in here. And then this goes here. And we need a comma there. That's the lizardman and the giant lizard. We'll also need to add dragon scales as a nicely rewarding commodity. In the items section of spawns, we're going to add dragon scale. So items. Copy. Paste. Okay. And now dwarven spawns. Since dwarves are dead, presumably they dug too deep again, we'll just have some leftovers of their civilization to deal with. Golems, traps, and landmines. Oh my. Let's make a new faction for the golems. They shouldn't like the dragons very much, but let's be nice to the player and have them be ignored. Okay, so in our faction table, we're going to add this dwarven remnant. Ignores the player, ignores the dwarven remnant, and attacks by default everything else. Okay. This lets us build a relatively formidable golem. It can be formidable because it will be fighting the lizards. Here's a rock golem. Alright, so let's add a rock golem. Movement random waypoint. I think that's new. No? Well, lizard man. No, I guess we have... yeah, we must have already done it. Right, they pick a random location on the map and try to make their way there. I remember that now. The stonefall trap and landmines are like an extra dangerous bear trap. So, bear trap is here. It goes under props. So we can shift this over and shift this over. There we go. One of the things that's missing is, a little flavor text for when it gets triggered. That would be nice to have. That would definitely be a nice to have thing. And then dwarf loot. These are just more items for the item section of spawns.json. Breastplate, dwarf steel shirt, a war axe. Okay. Copy. Items. So we have this, and then this is separate for some reason. So let's shift this over, shift this over, shift this over. Okay, so we've loaded up our loot tables and we've added a bunch of different types of loot. And that's the whole chapter already done in 1 hour. Surprisingly quick. Let's play through it a little bit. Maybe we could spend a little time doing that. We're supposed to start with 0 gold, but I cheated and added 100 to the player's gold just so I could have that. Oh, so that's something we could do, is add gold to the cheat menu. Why don't we do that? And bam. Well, first I want to make sure this all works. Right. So let's start the game over. Pick a new game. We're going to pretend we have no gold, so I can't go to the barkeep and buy anything. I can sell. Oh, I can. Oh, that's right. I added these things. So I could just sell those and get the 100 things back. But these shouldn't be here either. So I should get rid of those. All right. So can we get all the way down without dying? Well, the first thing we need to do is find where the rats are so we can get some XP. There they are. Wow. We've got a big... I'm hitting space, but not getting anywhere. They're not coming to me. Can they not get through? I don't want to stand there because they're going to attack me. There's no other way in. Come on. They're not being drawn out into the daylight. That's unfortunate. There we go. But they're not going to drop gold. They're just going to give me XP. And I do have a dried sausage, so I'll be able to heal up. Oh, there's enemies on screen, so yeah, I can't heal. So I want to see if I can... I don't know, there's something wrong with the rat's AI. They should be chasing me down, right? And they're not. Or maybe they're set to ignore unless they get attacked. I don't know. Alright, there's blood everywhere, isn't there? Okay. So we're almost to level 2. But we're hungry. Maybe I should wait till I'm starving before I eat my... Yeah, the only problem with the rats is you don't... Oh, what was that? Oh, I leveled up. That was what that was. Okay. So I'm on level 2 now. And it automatically healed me, which is nice. But I am hungry. Alright, so if I eat the dried sausage and then we can go into the woods. Oh, there's a wolf right away. And I just have some random meat. And I have the confusion scroll. So now I can go sell the confusion scroll, right? And get some money for that. Sell which item? The confusion scroll. And now I can buy rations. Okay. So I think that we actually have a playable game. So let's follow the river to the limestone caverns. We gotta find the river first. There's the river. So we follow the river to the limestone cavern. Oh, there's another rat. Wolf. I'm rushing a little bit too much, aren't I? That's the hide. That's an interesting symbol. I don't know what that is. All right. Well, I was just zooming in just to see what that was, but I couldn't tell what that symbol was. There's the rat. Here's the downstairs. Now we're in the limestone caverns. One of the things that's not in this game yet is a light source, right? The player generates light all by itself. I picked up a health potion, which I definitely need. And I don't have any room here on this thing, so yes. Wow. I've got a lot of rations. I guess I didn't want to get hungry. Alright, so somewhere... Oh, there's a bandit. And you can see the bandit had light. Ooh, he's got a dagger. So we should be able to equip the dagger. And now I have better weapon. Oh, when I died, I must have stepped on a trap. Damn it. Alright, so this game's pretty hard. At least for me. I'm not an expert at roguelike, so maybe this is a good level thing. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is revert the gold and the starting inventory so it doesn't have the magic mapping scroll or the confusion scroll. Let's first take a look at this. We have source and raws. Added a transition level from caverns to an abandoned abandoned dwarf fort. Okay, so let's fix up the spawn code. Yes, here's where I added gold of 100. We start with the rusty longsword, dried sausage, beer, a stained tunic, torn trousers, and then I added the confusion scroll and magic mapping scroll. So these go away. Okay. And then I want to update the cheat menu. Right, here's the cheat menu, which gives us teleport to exit, heal wounds, reveal the map, and God mode. I want to add gold. Of course, G is already taken. And I bet you we're going to add to the cheat menu later. So any number I choose is going to be, or any letter I choose is going to be taken up by something else, but that's all right. We'll fix that when we get there. God mode. So I'm going to add now. I'm going to add a fifth one. And this is going to be M. Let's call it M for money. Make some money. And we're going to use this. M, money. Cheat menu result needs a money. I don't know why I put it there. And then in our, if I try to build it, it should fail here. Perfect. And then, so now let's see if we can figure out how to add money. Cheat menu result, money. And all I'll do is have it add 10 gold or 100 gold every time we cheat. And should be very similar to this. So instead of modifying hit points current, we're just going to modify gold. So let's copy paste. Oops. Pasted it in the wrong spot. There we go. Gold plus equals 100.0. So that should work. It does. Let's generate the WASM and see if that actually did the trick, and we should be able to start with 0 gold and then just use the cheat menu to bump our gold up by 100 at a time. I guess another good cheat thing would be to add to our level. Okay, refresh. Begin new game. So I start with 0 gold. I have the dried sausage and the beer. And if I don't use the cheat menu, then we're all good. I can't buy anything because I don't have any money. And it should actually log a message saying you don't have enough money, right? Because I'm typing all the letters to buy stuff and it's just ignoring it. So that's another thing we should fix. But if I say make some money, now I have 100 gold and I should be able to buy rations. And I was able to buy rations. You can see it right here. And my gold went down to 99.5. But the rations are 0.4. So it should be 99.6. I'm confused by that. All right. Not going to worry about it. All right. So we did this. This is good. Get status. Get add source. Get commit. Fix starting equipment. And add a gold cheat. Good. One thing we didn't do is check in with Clippy. But when I was doing stuff, I didn't see anything that would trigger my brain to think that Clippy was an issue. All right, so that's the end of this chapter. What else do I want to play with? Because I don't want to start in the next chapter. It's going to take too long to get through. Town portals. And I don't have enough time today to do a whole second chapter. So maybe there's something else we can play around with. Oh yeah, let's fix this. This has been annoying me for the whole entire time. I think that's in GUI. Draw UI. Yeah, so we have, these are all the boxes. The hollow box are these 4 boxes here, and then we set the connections so they all get connected up. And here's where we draw the town name. And it looks like we're doing 1 too many for the length here. -1, I think. Right, we should shift that over by 1. Yeah? Okay. Let's try that. What else is bugging me about this game? The other thing that's bugging me about the game is that when you explore, right? When you explore, you've revealed some of the map, right? So now as you go away, this map are revealed tiles. And then when you leave town and come back, those tiles are no longer revealed. And I haven't figured that one out, so maybe now is a good time to do that. Get status, diff. Okay, let's refresh this and see. Yeah, see now we don't have that extra line there. If I go to the next one, into the woods, limestone caverns, deep limestone caverns, or for upper reaches, the new map, waveform collapse. And back in town. Really? So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So level 8 is town again. That is weird. Is it the same town? No, because this door is closed. Wow, those aren't cheap. I am very confused. It shouldn't be doing this, right? It should just keep going new map the entire... Yeah, this is what I was expecting. Oh. How is that possible? And now I'm outside of town. This is a different town. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that. Let's see. The visible tiles should be... This is part of the map code, right? Source... Oh, let me just fix this. Get add source, get commit, fix level name display. Map builders. Oops, source map builders. We have a lot of map stuff. in our, maybe it's in mod. Map builders mod. Somewhere here we have, yeah, we have the builder map. Oh, it's the map. Oh, it's called dungeon. Right. Which is a weird name for it. But we have this master dungeon map, which saves maps. Each one of these is a hash of a level number and the full map. And when we store the map, we insert the whole map. We just clone the whole thing. So it should include, right, if I go to the definition of map, it includes revealed tiles. And revealed tiles is what allows us to draw the gray stuff. And then over here we say get map, and it should just reveal the tiles at that point. Unless there's some code there when we grab a new map. Level transition. Do we already have a map? We look at Dungeon Master to see if the map exists. Transition to existing map, which is right here. Oh, that's interesting. Why do we have to do that? Dungeon Master get map is some. So if there is a map, then we call transition to new map, then we call read resource again. Oh, that's why we have to drop it, because we're going to do it again. Okay. We get it. We pull the map out. We grab the current map resource, and we grab the player. Where do we insert the map as the new... Here. So this line here should result in the visible or the reveal tiles to have a valid valid values, but it's like everything's 0 all over again. All right, so who's calling transition to existing? Sorry, level transition. This is called here. Generate world map. So this is level transition, which is setting the new world map resource. And this is saying if there was, oh, this returns an option vec map. If we transition to an existing map, it returns none, so it calls stall level entities. If it goes to a new map, it returns a vector of maps. Okay. Let's log this info so we can see this going on. RLTK console on starting or a new map created. Old map restored. Right? And then we can take a look at all level entities. Does that have a bug in it that's ruining our revealed tiles somewhere? This is just getting the map's depth. It's removing positions from other things. Alright, so let's run this. Oops. We can at least make sure it compiles before we do that. Okay. And if we can just refresh this and take a look at the console and see what's going on, to see if it's generating a new level, maybe there's a clue in the fact that we seem to be hitting the same set of levels. As I increase my level number, it shouldn't be going back and creating the town, right? If I look at our map mods, source map builders, level builder, yeah. So the new depth, it should only call town builder if new depth ends up being 1 again, which it shouldn't be. Alright, let's do this. It says new map created. If I go here, teleport, new map created, right? If I go back, old map restored. So definitely going through the old map restored code. But for some reason, the revealed tiles are gone. Which shouldn't be the case. Because it says, why are you in my house? I'm not in anybody's house. So I guess one thing we could do is just print out after old map restored. Oh. We can just dump that array, right? We have to fetch the map entity first. Self ECS? Yeah, okay. So we can do this by going tutorial, map, mod. Oh no, dungeon. Right, so we just grab the map as a read resource. We don't need a write resource. And then we can say old map restored, and we can say format bang that, and just print out the world map resource dot revealed tiles. And that's just going to be a bunch of trues and falses that will determine whether or not the thing was revealed. Oh, self. Uh-oh. Do we have to put this in its own... Yeah. And the cargo warnings, I'm not sure what they are, but we'll see in a second. Oh, it doesn't have to be mutable. Okay. That's all right. We're just trying to debug the output here. All right, so refresh, begin new game, go to the next level, and then go back. And then I'm going to say copy, paste. True. Yeah, there's no trues in there at all. The entire vector is just a million falses. How do I word wrap? There, like that. Yeah, if I just look here, I just see, and you can't see, but I'm scrolling. And everything's false. There's no true at all. So for some reason, when we save the map, it's not storing the reveal tiles. So let's do that. Let's take a look at when we store the map. Source map dungeon, right? So store map. We should be able to say, okay, this new map should have RLTK console log format bang storing, and we'll just dump it out again. Map.revealed tiles, right? Oh, right, and then that world map resource doesn't have to be mute, but we're going to delete those lines anyway. Okay. So now, when we store the map, we should be able to see dumped out here. So new map created, and we expect it to all be false. That's true. That's correct. Now when we jump to the next level, at this point we should see revealed tiles, and we're not seeing any revealed tiles. So it's storing it the way it's being told to store it. Let me just copy this real quick just to make sure. There's no true. Why not? I mean, we're definitely checking map reveal tiles here. We're setting it to true when we view it. I don't see us setting it to false anywhere. So the only time it's ever false is when we create one. Let's take a look at that. Right, so we create a new map. And that's all we're doing. So where are we? And we only ever set it to true. Here and here. So let's take a look at this line here, 338 in game state. Oh, magic map revealed. So we're setting them all to true. And it's definitely fetching the mutable reference to the map. So it should be setting to true. So down here, yeah, let me get rid of these lines. Right? And this line. Let's generate world map. We should, where are we saving? When we do the level transition, oops. Where do we call store map? Store the newly minted map. Ah. We're storing it not... That's why. We're storing it after... As soon as it's been generated, we store it. But when we update... Okay, so that makes sense now. When we update, right, so this code here, what is this? Transition to new map. We create the new map, and as soon as we're done creating it, we store it, which means all of our reveal tiles are going to be false because that's the way we're storing it. Let me get rid of that line. So what we need to do is store the map on the level transition, right? So we're saying, okay, we're going to a new level. Let's store the old one. So that when we come back, so maybe that's going to be addressed in this town portal. So let's see. Because when you portal back, the bug is going to be obvious, right? When you portal back, you're suddenly going to be looking at a town with no revealed tiles. So let's save this bug fix for after this chapter. If they don't fix it in this chapter, it should be clean. Yeah. If they don't fix it in this chapter, then we'll fix it ourselves. Because basically, I think the answer is to, as you go down, as you move your way down from one level to the next, you want to save the current level. So you want to save it on transition. You don't want to save it as soon as you create the level. All right. All right, so that'll wrap up this stream for today. Tomorrow will be town portals, and then depending on how quickly it goes and whether or not we fix that bug, we'll see. I do want to get to this, crafting interpreters. So I'm thinking maybe what we can do is, instead of just sticking through to the end of the roguelike tutorial, we'll alternate weeks. So one week we'll do crafting interpreters, and another week we'll do roguelike. And that might be good. What crafting interpreters is, it shows you how to generate abstract syntax trees for this part 2 here, tree walk interpreter. And it's all written in Java. So I thought, oh, let's port that to Rust. And then section 3 is, instead of doing abstract syntax tree, we just create a virtual machine. So instead of generating the tree, you're generating bytecode, which is another interesting way to handle interpreters. And this is all written in the C language, which would be fun to port to Rust. So I think we're going to start with that next week. And then, so we'll alternate between doing the roguelike and then doing the interpreter. Let me push this up. Quick look at our commits. This is what we did today. Yeah, so this was the majority of the work here, and then we did a couple of little minor tweaks. Okay, pretty good. All right, thanks everyone for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. I definitely did. And I will see you tomorrow for Town Portals. All right, take care everyone.